Dana White's Contender Series Week 7. I truly believe this is one of the most exciting fight cards that we've had since this show has started in regards to Dana White's Contender Series. We have 3 high-level prospects fighting for an opportunity to be signed by the UFC. I've been keeping an eye on these fighters for quite some time, so I'm excited to see them have this opportunity. And even the other fighters that really bring it. And this has to be one of the most stacked DWCS cards that we've had. With no further ado, let's get right into today's episode.
The MMA Fortune Teller.
The teller.
What is up, you guys? We are deep within the 2021 DWCS season, already at week 7. It's crazy. I remember when the first episode of the season just kicked off, and here we are. And this is a solid one. As I stated earlier in the intro, this is a very, very solid fight card. You got guys like Duncan, who just fought recently on the Bellator card over in the UK, delivered in a major way. He's a very talented fighter. We got Hadley, a very talented fighter as well, taking on Mitch Raposo, coming off the Ultimate Fighter. That's a hell of a fight in the flyweight division. Lorenzo Hood, coming off 3 knockouts, fighting a big boy in Martin Buday. And then in the main event, 2 very, very talented prospects. Junior Cortez taking on Christian Rodriguez. And let me not just gloss over the woman fight as well, because these 2 girls, they do bring the fight, man. Kathryn, Paprocki taking on Maria Silva. 2 talented strikers. I think that has the making to be an exciting fight as well. Real quick, last week's Dana White Contender Series fight card, we did have an official play on Mike Mallet in the main event of that fight card. If you remember, he looked absolutely amazing, finished the fight within seconds. I was very confident in the pick. If you guys heard the breakdown, you guys saw how confident I was in that pick, or you heard how confident I was as well. He defeated Shimon Smotritsky within 39 seconds, and this guy Shimon was just a very, very young and green fighter taking on a coach over at Team Alpha Male and Mike Mallet. I am excited that he got the call now, and he's an official UFC fighter. And again, you could have grabbed that line right at minus 175. I thought that was a complete steal. So these are the types of plays that you guys want to be keeping an eye on in regards to the show when you're looking to make wagers here. So again, just letting you guys know, we did hit that play last week. And now, we cruise into week 7. As far as the lines go, we have some fights that are decently close compared to some of these other fight cards we've had with the very high favorites. We're going to kick things off with a strawweight bout between Kathryn Paprocki taking on Maria Silva. So this fight does have the makings to be an exciting match here. Kathryn Paprocki and Maria Silva both tend to favor standing and trading on the feet. So that's kind of the avenue I'm going to go with this fight. I do expect this fight to take place on the feet for the most part. From what I was able to pull up on these women, they do favor their striking. They feel confident in their striking. And that could be a little bit of a problem for Kathryn, in my opinion, because Maria Silva, in my opinion, seems to be the more refined striker. This is a girl that has a decent amount of Muay Thai experience. When you watch footage of her, you're able to pull up some fight footage of her on YouTube and whatnot. You could see some of her striking fights. She has some Muay Thai fights, kickboxing matches, whatever you want to call them, some with the bigger gloves and whatnot. And she's a talented striker. She has more pop on her punches, more pop on her kicks, in my opinion. And then on the other hand, Kathryn is a girl that is scrappy. Like I said, she's more than willing to trade in the feet. She's a scrappy girl. In my opinion, she's a little bit more loopy with her strikes. Her strikes come a little bit from a wider angle, a little bit more telegraphed. I expect Maria's striking to be a little bit sharper, quicker to the punch, and I think that she's just a little bit more talented and more experienced there. So if Paprocki is going to try to win this fight, in my opinion, she needs to do a little bit of this. She needs to threaten with takedowns. She has to make this a scrappy fight. She has to try to grind Maria. She has to hang on her, try to throw strikes in the clinch, hang on her, throw knees, try to mix in some takedowns. Otherwise, I do favor Maria here. I think that, like I said, I just think that Maria will be the more refined striker. We take a look at what they've been doing. Maria 6-0. She's been going in there, handling business, getting finishes. She also has 2 submission victories on her resume, so it's not like she's necessarily completely inadequate on the mat. She's definitely trying to become an overall mixed martial artist. She's only 25 years old. Kathryn, a little bit older, 28 years old. Both 5'3". We don't have a reach on Maria, but seems that her reach should be right around that same type of length, the 65. It's not like she has T-Rex arms or anything, and I think that she's a very solid striker here. Real quick, we pull up what Maria's been doing. Like I said, 6-0. She has a guillotine finish over a fighter that was 6-0 at the time. She was undefeated as she was only 4-0. So, she's been in there with the fighter and Jayan Aguiar that seems to have a reputable record. But other than that, a lot of fighters that were very inexperienced in those matches, with Kathryn Paprocki fighting, a fighter in her last fight that was 3-2. Has a loss against a fighter that was 6-5, a little bit of a red flag there. And like I said, she did have some boxing experience and some Muay Thai experience. So she's not just, she's not completely green on the feet. This is a girl that feels confident in her striking as well. But at the end of the day, Maria, to me, seems to be the more refined, better striker. That's why I'm going to favor Maria to win this fight. Looks to be coming in this fight in phenomenal shape here. And yes, I know that she's the favorite, but again, guys, I saw a comment from last week. You guys know the routine here. I am going to pick the fighter who I see to be the more talented and more skilled fighter. The fighter that I more so see winning the fight. I'm not going to pick a dog just to pick a dog. You guys know the routine. My Dana White's Contender Series picks have been very, very accurate this season. My ratio is very high. And I'm going to go with Maria Silva here. I think that she is the more skilled fighter when you actually break the takedown. So that's my pick there. As far as from a betting line, she's right around as high as a -200 right now. So, a little bit of a steep line in a fight that could be closely contested. Some of these strawweight fights go. I say that time and time again. It could be. If Maria really can't put a stamp on this fight with her striking and really make a difference there, this fight could end up being a tit-for-tat type of fight if Kathryn's able to hang on her a little bit. At the end of the day, though, I got Maria Silva there. I think she is the more talented fighter who shows to have a little bit more potential, in my opinion. We got a nice lightweight match here. Duncan taking on Slava Borshchev. This fight really is a treat. One of the fighters I talked about earlier as we did the introduction to this video, that one of the three fighters that I'm pretty excited to watch perform here is Duncan. Duncan is a guy that we've been watching fight over on the Bellator scene. He's undefeated. He's 7-0. He's going in there. He's getting finishes. He's knocking dudes out. He's coming off a knockout over Imik Furtado. Also knocked out Mateus Piscors. And, those were his two Bellator fights. And guys with decent records, guys that have experience. So we've seen him in there with guys that have some experience under their belt. He's not just going in there taking out green fighters. Slava, on the other hand, is a guy that's 4-1 as a mixed martial artist, but he does have experience, a decent amount of experience as a striker. That's really his base. He was a striking-based fighter who has since went over to Team Alpha Male from what I've seen and has been putting in work with Team Alpha Male. That's a great recipe for success. You get a fighter that already has some good skills in the feet. You teach them the wrestling, the takedown defense, and all that type of grappling that they do over at Team Alpha Male, which is almost as good as it gets in the world. I'm a big fan of what they got going on over there. And, his teammate, Mike Mallet, is a little thing here posted from Mike Mallet, one of the coaches over there. He just fought last week. We talked about him earlier. So he's trying to keep that Team Alpha Male momentum. I expect Uriah Faber to be there. He was there last week. I expect Faber to be there for the fights. And this guy, he's a tough fighter, man. Good skills in the feet, like I said, throws nice leg kicks. One thing that we've definitely seen from him is that he is working his takedown defense. You can pull this fight up on YouTube against Corey Dulaney. I believe this was his second to last fight. And Corey was trying to implement a takedown plan in this fight, and it didn't really go his way. Borshchev was able to stuff the takedowns. Looked like he's been refining his skills there and was able to take an easy victory in that fight. So this is a guy that also shows to have a very solid potential, in my opinion. I'm excited for this matchup. I think this is a good test for Duncan. I would love to see Duncan get the contract here, fighting out of Scotland. This is a sleeper fight on the card. This is a fight you guys should really be excited for. Both these guys, fighting in the lightweight division, in my opinion, the most stacked division in the UFC. I love the division. I would love to see one of these guys really shine out there and be added to the UFC roster. kind of hoping it's going to be Chris Duncan. I think you guys know which way I'm going with this. I'm going to pick Chris Duncan to win the fight here. I've just been impressed with what I've seen from him on a big stage over in Bellator. He could strike. He's an overall solid fighter. Definitely knows what he's doing as far as the ground game goes as well. It might even be a little bit more refined there, in my opinion, than his opponent. That's why I'm going to take Chris Duncan to win the fight. Chris the Problem Duncan would be a great addition to the UFC as far as a Scottish MMA fighter. Not too many Scottish MMA or UFC fighters right now would be a great addition to what they got going on over there. A lot of tough guys. Of course, we have Paul Craig. We used to have, wasn't another lightweight fighter, excuse me, his name's slipping my mind. You guys know how it goes over here these days. Guy I was watching forever. I think he since retired. He was all tatted up. He had the sleeve. Come on, guys. He had a fight with, I think he fought Ross Pearson once before. Check this out. Does this work? No, I don't think it works. Let me see something real quick. Ooh, it does. But you know what? There's going to be too many. Yeah, I could pull up all the Scottish fighters, but I'm not going to be able to find him. Anyways, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about, and I know who I'm talking about as well. He's since retired. He was always a skilled fighter, a good striker. He hung around for a while. But, we're looking for some new talent from that part of the world. I would love to see Duncan be the guy to represent Scotland in the lighter weights, in the lighter weight division, and let Craig handle it up there at the light heavyweight division. But again, this is a fight you don't want to miss. Take a look at the line real quick. Chris Duncan, right around that minus 135 range. And actually have money coming in on Slava. So people are aware that this guy Slava is a guy that's already a talented striker, and he's been getting in work with Team Alpha Male for a while now. And this has the makings to be a great fight. These are two very, very talented fighters. Keep an eye on this. And, as far as Chris goes, Chris has been putting in work over in Vegas, Extreme Couture, with Eric Nixick, right? Eric Nixick, excuse me. And Eric really has something good going on over there. He has a stable of solid fighters, a lot of people putting in work over there. So you already know that Chris is also getting excellent training over there as well. And that's why I'm gonna take Chris Duncan. I think he's just a little bit more of the overall better fighter going into this fight. So Chris Duncan will be the pick there. Another big-time flyweight fight taking place on Dana White's Contender Series. They've really been adding a lot of flyweight fights during the season, which I really appreciate. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, but we need that division to become deeper and deeper. And you want to talk about an addition to the division. Either of these guys could easily be in the UFC, in my opinion. Jake Hadley versus Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo, as a little joke, I think we were calling him the Possum, right? Mitch the Possum Raposo. Kind of an interesting guy in the show. It's kind of stirring things up, in the house and whatnot. But without a doubt, this is a guy that really has some skills, in my opinion. I know that he lost his first fight on the show, which it's good to see Tapology put that as an official fight here. I wasn't there last time I looked, but it says exhibition bout. I don't know why they have to put that there. That's a professional match, man. That's about as good as it gets there, fighting on The Ultimate Fighter. He lost that fight to Ludovic Shalinian, who has also since lost his UFC debut against a very talented fighter fighting out of England there, I believe. Real quick, he lost to Jack Shore. Fighting out of Wales, the Welsh fighter. But not necessarily the biggest black guy. But Shalinian is a guy that I'm not necessarily too high on. A strong grappler. Shalinian was able to implement his game plan on Raposo. He closed the distance. He really hung on him and kind of grinded him out there. And took him out in what was a 2-round fight, if you guys remember. I think he won both of the first 2 rounds, so no need to go to a third round. I still do believe that Mitch Raposo really has some solid skills to bring to the table. He's only 22 years old, extremely quick, extremely fast with his scrambles and his striking and whatnot. Of course, in the flyweight division, I know that seems kind of obvious, but no, he's a very, very quick fighter. He was actually the first pick for that weight class on the show, so they were very high on him. It was a little bit of a letdown when he lost there. Now he has a little bit of a problem here because this guy Jake White Kong, in my opinion, is the real deal. Breaking down footage on him, he is nasty with his grappling. He's a nasty jiu-jitsu player. He hangs all over his opponents, man. He's taking their backs. He's hanging all over them. He's submitting them. You want to watch a cool video on him, you can pull this up It's called UFC Futures, Jake White Kong Hadley. And you could see they even have like the timestamps of all his different fights where he's finishing guys left and right. And he's performed on a decent stages as well, right? Cage Warriors, a Cage Warrior champion, fought over in Bellator. So those are solid things that he has going for him right now. And he's been fighting guys that have decent resumes too. 7-1, 10-4, 7-2, 11-2. You love to see that. Never mind this 0-24 guy, Reese Street. I guess we got to pull him up real quick. Oh, God, look at this guy. This fighter has been found by Tapology to have engaged in activity which does not conform to combat sports standards. He purposely participated in bouts with no reasonable path to victory, displayed a lack of competitive effort, and is justifiably matched against far more skilled opponents. Now, I've never seen something like this. He's now 0-40. This is pretty comical here. But again, I'm getting off track here, but that's a fight that's really irrelevant because he's been fighting higher level opponents after that, but he had the little comical bout there. Mitch Raposo is going to be a guy that's definitely legit, like I said, so this is going to be a very exciting match. Real quick, if we look at these fighters from a physical standpoint, Hadley's going to have a 2-inch height advantage. I expect Hadley to have a little bit of a reach advantage. I'm not exactly sure what Raposo's reach. It might be more like 65. I do expect Hadley to have the reach advantage there. He's 25 years old, a little bit more experience, a little bit older, but nothing really too much going on there. This is an awesome fight. I really want to see what Mitch Raposo does after losing on the show, going back to the drawing board. I know he's more motivated than ever. This guy already fights with the chip on his shoulder. Let's see what he has to bring to the table. He might have a little bit of a wrestling edge here, but I think that Jake will be the more talented overall grappler with his jiu-jitsu game. I think that Jake can more than hold his own on the feet as well. That's why I'm taking Jake to win this fight, and this is a guy you're going to want to keep an eye on now. This is a guy that's probably going to get a victory here and get a contract. Hopefully, I'm hoping this fight really delivers and both these guys get contracts. I want to see them both added to the flyweight division. We'll see how that plays out, but I'm definitely taking Jake Hadley here. Jake is right around a 3-1 favorite right now. So people are high on him. People know what he's about. This is a very, very skilled fighter. And this is a fight you're not going to want to miss. This is a UFC caliber fight right here, as far as the flyweight division goes, in my opinion. I know they're young. These two guys are the future of that division. And Hadley is coming in absolutely ripped. This guy's a beast, man. I really enjoyed breaking down tape on him. A very, very solid fighter. And like I said, he's more than just a nasty jiu-jitsu guy. This guy can strike as well, as you see him throwing a knuckle sandwich to this guy's face, trying to give him a full buffet in one shot. Excited for that fight, man. So it's going to be a good one. And again, though, keep an eye on Mitch Raposo, an extremely quick fighter. A little bit on the smaller side for the division, but what's he going to do? Drop down to the atomweight division? They don't have it. So that's the pick, man. Jake Hadley. And we go from the small boys up to the big boys, man. The heavyweight division. This one's going to be a good one here. Lorenzo Hood taking on Martin Buday. Oh, its Tapology looks like it's down for maintenance. Might not be able to pull this up here, boys. All right, guys. So I'm sorry. I can't pull it up right now, but we're going to just talk about these fighters. It's not even going to let me get back to the... Let's see here. Oh, Tapology's really fixing me good here. Hold on. Let's see here, guys. 1 second, all right? Oh, it's down for maintenance. Let's get into this guy. Lorenzo Hood. I believe he's 12-4 as a professional right now. He's coming off 3 knockout victories. Obviously, that's why he's getting a shot here. The UFC's been decently impressed from what they've seen from him. He's been bringing the energy, bringing that finishing mindset. This is a guy that, you could pull up a video on him way back in the day fighting, not back in the day. I'm trying to remember when this fight actually took place. Yeah, it was a while ago, even though it was posted here 2021. This fight took place a while ago, before Curtis Blades was even in the UFC. Lorenzo Hood was taken down easily and smashed up. There was another fight on YouTube where he was taken down quite easily. I think that Lorenzo Hood's takedown defense is below average. I think it's definitely been a problem for him. Obviously, he's a beast of a man. This is a big dude here. Although I think that he's coming in this fight we got to get the weights in them. I know they're going to be weighing in. We got to pull that up. I'll throw those in the comment section. But I don't believe he's coming in at 265 at the max, where his opponent is coming in at 265. But let's see if Tapology is going to keep. Let's see. We'll try this one more time. But his opponent, Martin Buday, is a big boy. I mean, this guy is a giant of a man. You could pull up some fights on him too. And there was one fight where I was kind of questioning his grappling, because obviously that's the path to victory, in my opinion, the easiest path to victory here. And there was one fight where he wasn't looking that sharp there. But then I did find this fight also from 2019 where he did implement some solid takedowns, and he seemed to know what he was doing there enough where I think he can get Lorenzo Hood down to the mat and really exploit that avenue there. Let's see here. Come on, Tapology. It's acting up over here. They're down for maintenance. Tapology's working in the daytime. Yeah, they're still down. I wanted to pull up the specs on these guys, but I think as far as their height goes, they're pretty much they were somewhat similar. I think Buday might have been a little bit taller, but he's coming in. He's weighed in at the max before. You see him over here at the UFC Apex. He's a big dude, a little bit slow on the feet, a little bit laboring with his strikes. I think that if Lorenzo Hood's going to have an avenue to win this fight, that's obviously the route that he wants to go. He's going to want to use his striking. He's going to want to land that big shot. And you guys know how it goes. When you got two big boys throwing down, it only takes one shot. And Hood has shown that he could do that 3 times in a row. He's trying to make it 4 times in a row. I don't necessarily see that being the case overall. I think that Martin Buday is the better of the two as far as being a UFC caliber fighter, as far as them being prospects. Buday is a guy that should have an easier path to victory in this fight. I'm taking Martin Buday to win the fight here. And he is a hefty favorite, though. He's right around minus 350, and he's been pushed all the way up to as high as 425 on some books, 420. FanDuel, you can actually grab him at 405. He opened up at 350. So, yeah, he's in the 400s at this point, and there's really no coming back from that. Lorenzo Hood, the real dream killer. He's going to try to kill Buday's dreams here, but good luck with that. He's going to have to land a devastating shot here. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. All right, guys, we had to jump over to Sherdog real quick. Tapology is down for maintenance. It seems like we don't know when they'll be back up. But, we're pretty much at the last fight here. Just really quickly, I want to jump back to the co-main event. Lorenzo Hood and Martin Buday. Martin Buday is coming in at 6'5". He's a big boy. He probably walks around in the 270 range. You see him listed at 271. He's a big boy. That's more than believable. And Lorenzo Hood is a big dude as well. I know his weight has strayed from the 250 range, even as high as the 265 range. So curious to see where he comes in this fight. Wouldn't have a problem with him being the lighter guy. If he has the speed advantage, he needs to land that big shot on the chin, and that's what his game plan needs to be here. So I'm not really too stuck on the size difference, or not that there really even is much of a size difference. But keep a guy in this guy Buday, the Slovakian fighter, a very tough dude, a very big boy. And this is a guy that I'm expecting to win the bout with his grappling and his wrestling. Needs to be careful if this fight stays in the feet for an extended period of time. And with no further ado, that's going to take us to the main event. Excited for this fight here. Both these guys really show to have some solid skills. Christian Rodriguez taking on Junior Cortez, Reyes Cortez Jr. I know he goes by the name Junior, talented fighter as well. Christian Rodriguez, familiar with him. I saw him take out a fighter that I'm very fond of, a guy that I've had the pleasure to chat it up with a bit, the ferocious one, Charalampos Gregorio, a fellow Greek fighter, a real Greek fighter. And, he was able to go in there and finish him. Shout out to Gregorio. He actually came back and got a nasty knockout victory in his last fight. But Junior did go in, Christian did go in here and get a nasty victory over him in his last fight. And he's been finishing guys in a multitude of ways, getting finishes on the feet, pulling off submissions as well. Got the rear naked choke in his second to last fight, and also started off his professional career over in Bellator with the armbar victory. So pretty cool. His professional debut was over in Bellator. He's been on a big stage before. He's without a doubt a very, very skilled fighter. You could pull up a highlight video of him on YouTube as well. You could really see the skills that he brings in the cage. He's a very well-rounded, dangerous fighter who's very crisp with his striking, extremely fast. And then his opponent here, Junior, is a guy that I was pretty impressed from what I've seen from him as well. This guy's definitely a skilled fighter. I was a little bit suspect with one of the losses that he has on his resume. Not sure exactly what went on there, man, but he had a loss against Justin Hughes where he lost a split decision fight over an LFA. And Justin Hughes is a guy, his record's not that impressive here. He's 4-4 with some questionable losses himself. So that's a fight that, you got to kind of question what was going on with Junior in that fight there. Because if you're losing to guys like that, I know you don't typically want to use MMA math, but if you're losing to guys like that, you better be careful when you step in there with a guy like Christian Rodriguez, who is extremely young and has a world of potential. Only 23 years old. I mean, this guy fighting out of Rufus Sport, they're extremely high on him. He's supposed to be the next big thing coming out of Team Rufus Sport. And this is going to be a perfect time for him to showcase his skills, a main event spot in Dana White's Contender Series. I think that Christian should get the job done. Even when you break down tape on them, even though I was very impressed with Junior, I think that Christian shows to be the sharper striker, the sharper fighter overall. He's willing to throw all types of strikes at you. Saw him throwing flying knees, all types of unorthodox types of moves that really make his opponents uncomfortable. I expect Christian to implement his will early and kind of try to set the tone in this fight, just being the more dangerous, quicker, more powerful striker. I don't expect this fight to go to the mat as much as some of the other fights that we've seen. I think that this fight does take place in the feet for the most part, and I think that Christian Rodriguez should have get the better of the fight there. If it does go down to the mat, I didn't really see anything that would lean towards Junior anyway. I don't see any type of holes in Christian's game there. I expect Christian to win this fight. I'm picking him to win the fight. As far as the betting line goes, seems like the overall public agrees with me. He's right around a -200. Not really much movement here. A little bit of action coming in on Christian. It depends what book you're looking at. BetMGM, actually, we got action coming the opposite way. I like Christian Rodriguez to win the fight. I was quite impressed from some of the fight footage I was able to pull up on him. So he will be the pick. And we'll see how the overall card turns out. Like I said, though, this is one of the more exciting Dana White's Contender Series fight cards. You want to keep an eye on these guys here: Christian Rodriguez, Jake Hadley, and Chris Duncan. All right, keep an eye on those guys. You guys know the deal with Mitch Raposo too. We'll see if Mitch Raposo can stir something up here. But again, Jake Hadley, Christian Rodriguez, and Chris Duncan. Look for those guys to get contracts in the UFC. I've been watching these guys for a while. They're very skilled fighters, and we'll see how they perform tomorrow night. Filming this Monday afternoon. Hope this video helped you guys in any type of way. If you guys are interested in working with me for my official plays, do not hesitate to reach out. My email is below. My Instagram, you can shoot me a DM. I got a Twitter you can message me on. Whatever works for you. Shoot me a message. I'll send you over my pricing. And I would love to work with you guys. If you're looking for a sports book, also reach out to me. I'll give you guys some information on bovada.lv, which is a great website. I'll send you my referral link, and we'll get a little bit of a bonus there too. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up Dana White's Contender Series Week 7. Just ran 2 miles earlier today. Going to get a couple other things done here. You guys can expect this UFC fight card, the prediction video for that to come out to you guys hopefully late tonight here, late Monday night. I'll try to get that out to you guys as well. And my mind's scrambling around over here. I got a bunch of things I got going on, and hopefully you guys are all having a productive start to your week. I know it's only Monday. Hopefully you guys got off to the right start for your week, and hope you guys all have a blessed one. On that note, signing out, Teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.